Regret, the bill that life hands you when you dine on deceit, manipulation, and arrogance. And oh, this year it's their turn to pick up the tab. They thought they could walk through life, stomping on hearts, taking love for granted, as if it were their birthright. But now, the clock has struck midnight on their games, and the price is due. That price, my dear friends, is regret. A cruel, relentless tormentor that whispers you had it all, and you let it slip away. They thought you'd always be there, didn't they? Like some constant, unshakable presence they could rely on, no matter how badly they treated you. They mistook your kindness for weakness, your patience for passivity. But you weren't a doormat, you were a storm waiting to unleash your power. And now, as they sit in the rubble of their own making, they realize the magnitude of what they've lost. Regret isn't a gentle companion. No, it's a vicious beast that gnaws at the mind, replaying every wrong move, every cruel word, every selfish act. They'll lie awake at night, haunted by the echoes of what could have been. And the more they try to escape it, the louder it will roar. That's their reality now, a perpetual prison of their own creation. You see, people like them don't appreciate what they have until it's gone. They only learn the value of gold when it turns to dust in their hands. And you were pure gold, a rare gem in a sea of mediocrity. But they were too blind, too arrogant, too self-absorbed to see it. Now they'll wander through life searching for something, anything that can compare to what they had with you. Spoiler alert, they'll never find it. Oh, they'll try to distract themselves. They'll dive into shallow relationships, superficial pleasures, anything to numb the pain of losing you. But no matter how hard they try, they won't be able to fill the void. Regret will be their shadow, following them everywhere they go, reminding them of their failure. What's truly poetic, though, is that they didn't just lose you, they lost the version of themselves they could have been with you. You were their mirror, showing them their potential, pushing them to be better. But instead of rising to the challenge, they chose to sink into their old habits. And now they'll never know what greatness they could have achieved by your side. This year will be different for you. It's the year you reclaim your power, your joy, your sense of self. While they drown in regret, you'll soar to heights they could never reach. You'll thrive, and your success will be the most delicious kind of revenge. Not that you need revenge, of course. Your existence, your happiness, your growth. That's punishment enough for people like them. Regret is a funny thing, isn't it? It doesn't just remind them of what they've lost, it forces them to confront who they really are. They'll have to face the cold, hard truth they were the villain in their own story. And that realization, it's a bitter pill to swallow. Let them sit with their regret. Let it marinate, let it fester, let it consume them. You don't owe them forgiveness, and you certainly don't owe them a second chance. They made their bed, and now they'll have to lie in it, a bed of regret, discomfort, and self-loathing. What's beautiful, though, is that you've emerged from this stronger, wiser, and more radiant than ever. You didn't let their betrayal define you, you used it as fuel to become the best version of yourself. And that's the real tragedy for them. They'll see the new you, the unstoppable, unapologetic you, and they'll know they had a front row seat to greatness and squandered it. So this year, as they stumble through their regret-laden existence, you'll walk tall, proud, and free. They'll hear of your victories, your joy, your light, and it will sting like salt in a wound. They'll want to reach out to beg for another chance, but their ego will hold them back. Or worse, they'll know deep down that they don't deserve another chance.
please take this short break from your video. We know how important the videos are to you. So all we ask from you is to support the channel by purchasing your special Inspire Network hoodie or Inspire Network coffee cup. Please enjoy the rest of the video.
They thought their absence would break you, didn't they? That you'd crumble under the weight of the void they left behind. But here's the truth: they're too blind to see their absence was your greatest blessing. It was the clearing of dead weight, the shedding of a toxic layer that no longer served you. While they wallow in regret, you've been busy building a life that's thriving without them. And oh, how that stings for someone who thought they were indispensable. Regret isn't something that announces itself gently. It barges in uninvited, making itself known in the quiet moments. And for them, those moments are now endless. The laughter they once shared with you has turned into an echo, haunting their memories. Every celebration they try to enjoy feels hollow, every achievement muted, because deep down they know it's you they wish they could share it with. This year they'll realize that no one else will ever see them the way you did. You saw through their facade, past their insecurities and bravado, and loved them for who they were. But they mistook that love for weakness, didn't they? They played games, and in the process they lost the only person who truly understood them. Now they're left with masks and mirrors, wondering if anyone will ever see the real them again. They'll try to act unbothered, of course, put on a show, plaster on a smile, and pretend their world isn't falling apart without you. But those who look closely will see the cracks, the forced laughter, the empty gaze, the sudden silences. Because no matter how much they fake it, regret has a way of showing itself. It's etched into their every action, their every word, a silent scream that only they can hear. What's deliciously ironic is that they'll encounter people just like themselves this year. People who will take them for granted, dismiss their worth, and leave them feeling used and unappreciated. And when that happens, they'll think of you. They'll finally understand the pain they put you through, the torment of being undervalued. Karma doesn't forget, my dear, and this year it has their name written all over it. They'll lie awake at night, scrolling through their memories like an old photo album. Every smile, every laugh, every tender moment they had with you will replay in their mind, not as a source of joy, but as a reminder of what they've lost. And as much as they'll want to reach out, their pride will stop them. That's the thing about regret: it's a chain that binds even the strongest egos. But let's not waste too much time on their misery. Let's talk about you, the phoenix who rose from the ashes of their betrayal. You've rebuilt yourself stronger and more resilient than ever. While they're stuck in the past, you're forging a future so bright it's blinding. You've learned to love yourself in ways they never could, and that's the real victory. Your growth will be their torment. Every step you take forward, every milestone you achieve will remind them of what they could have been a part of. They'll hear about your successes, see your glow, and realize they're the ones who held you back. And that realization, it will cut deeper than any words ever could. This year, their regrets will grow roots, intertwining with every aspect of their life. They'll find it impossible to escape the shadows of their mistakes. Even in moments of joy, there will be a nagging thought, a whisper in the back of their mind: you had it all, and you let it go. That whisper will grow louder with each passing day until it becomes a roar they can't ignore. What's poetic about their downfall is that it's entirely self-inflicted. They can't blame anyone but themselves for the pain they're feeling now. You didn't leave them, you liberated yourself. There's a difference, and that difference is what will haunt them. They'll realize you were never theirs to control, to manipulate, to take for granted. You were a blessing, a gift, and they squandered it. They'll seek comfort in others, of course, but it won't be the same. No one will love them the way you did. No one will tolerate their flaws, celebrate their victories, or stand by them the way you did. They'll search for you in every new connection, but all they'll find are pale imitations, and that's the curse they'll carry for the rest of their lives. Meanwhile, you'll continue to flourish. Your light will shine brighter with each passing day, illuminating the path for others who need it. You'll inspire, uplift, and heal not just yourself, but those around you. And every time they see or hear of you, it will be a reminder of what they lost. They'll try to convince themselves they're over it, but deep down, they'll know the truth. Regret is a cruel companion, and it's not one that leaves easily. It lingers, festers, grows. For them, it will become a constant presence, a shadow they can't outrun. And while they're consumed by it, you'll be out there living your best life, free from the chains they tried to place on you. Their regret won't just be about losing you, it will be about losing the version of themselves they could have been with you. They'll see their potential slipping away, their growth stunted by their own actions. And that, my dear, is a pain far worse than any heartbreak. So, as they sit in the rubble of their own making, let them. You owe them nothing, not your forgiveness, not your attention, and certainly not your return. They made their choices, and now they must live with the consequences. And you? You're free, unburdened, and unstoppable? This year, let your light be a beacon not for them, but for yourself. Let it guide you to new heights, new adventures, new joys. Let it remind you of your worth, your strength, your resilience. Because you are irreplaceable, unforgettable, and unstoppable. And that, my dear, is their greatest regret. Regret, my friends, is the gift that keeps on giving. It doesn't fade with time, it grows, it festers, it multiplies. And for them, it will be a lifelong companion, a constant reminder of the blessing they threw away. Let them carry that burden, it's not yours to bear. They'll remember this year not for its joys, but for its lessons. Lessons that came too late, lessons they'll wish they'd learned when it mattered. But life doesn't grant do-overs, and they'll have to live with the consequences of their actions. And you'll flourish. You'll shine brighter than ever, untouched by their regret, unbothered by their pain. Because you've already won, my dear. You walked away with your dignity, your self-respect, and your future intact. And that's something they can never take away. And as the clock ticks on, remember this, their regret is not your responsibility, nor is their pain your burden to bear. Let them stew in the chaos of their own creation while you bask in the serenity of your newfound freedom. This year, you are the author of your story, the star of your show, the architect of your destiny, and no one, especially not them, can dim the brilliance of your rise.
You ever thought about what people really see when they look at you? Huh? Do they see the real you? The powerful one? Or do they see what you want them to see? A fool. You know, it's funny. We live in a world where everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's pretending to be someone they're not. People walk around like they got it all figured out. Like they're in control, but they're not. They're all just fakers, playing a part, waiting for someone else to tell them what to do next. And you're different. You want to know who the real players are. It's the ones who keep their mouths shut. The ones who watch and wait. You want to talk about strength? Real strength is knowing when to act and when to stay silent.
When to let the world think you're weak, just so you can slip right under their radar and catch them off guard when the time comes. It's the quiet ones you gotta worry about. They're the ones who'll rip your world apart. Yeah, you know how they say the early bird gets the worm? That's bullshit. The smart ones, the ones who really know how to win, they don't go chasing after crumbs. No, they wait. They wait in silence. You think you're gonna get ahead by rushing around like a headless chicken? Nah. You think too small, pal. The game's already been played, and the ones who win don't waste time fighting for scraps. They sit back, watch the chaos unfold, and when everything's in shambles, that's when they strike. You think you've been dealt a bad hand? Poor you. Everybody loves to play the victim, don't they? Crying about how life's unfair. Let me tell you something. Life's always been unfair. It's a war zone. But that's the beauty of it, you see? Because when everyone else is scrambling, trying to stay afloat in their little pity party, the real winners, the silent ones, are just waiting for the right moment to make their move. You want to talk about survival. You want to talk about being strong? Then you better learn to shut the hell up and watch. The world isn't going to hand you anything. You got to earn it, but you got to do it in a way nobody sees coming. You got to pretend like you don't know anything. You gotta be the fool and let everyone else think they've got the upper hand. They'll think you're weak. They'll think you're a joke. Let them. Because when it's all said and done, you'll be the one with the last laugh. You know, I've been around long enough to see the same patterns over and over again. Everyone's always looking for the next quick fix, the next shortcut to get what they want. But that's exactly where they mess up. Everybody's so damn eager to win. They forget one crucial thing. You don't win by trying to outrun the storm. You wait it out. The storm's gonna pass eventually.